Welcome to Shimmy Sports Talk. I'm your host, Coach BV. And I want to thank my sponsors, Doggy Style Hot Dogs and Happy Tree Dispensary. I'm here with a dear friend of mine. I've been knowing probably since 1990, 91. Real famous black entrepreneur that started here in Oklahoma, but he's nationally now. My friend, buddy, Tony Faine. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, my brother. How you doing?
Man, blessed, man. Excited to have you on the show today. We got some very interesting things to talk about today. But for right now, who's your favorite NFL team out there right now? Actually, college and NFL. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh, man, that's a no-brainer. Being that I went to Oklahoma, of course, I'm still a Boomer Sooner.
No doubt. Oh, you DNA, yes.
And, I'm always, from day one, been a Cowboy fan. So I'm still a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like what the boys are looking like this year. I feel like this might be that year.
Yeah, I hope so. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
A long time coming.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it can easily happen this year.
Yep. Only time will tell.
Yeah.
We got Dats back, and it seems like Ezekiel is running that ball pretty well. And well, with college football, we hoping Radley can keep his thing going. He's playing. The offense is getting there.
Right.
So we'll see. Only time to tell with OU. They got us, I think, ranked 3 right now. So we'll see.
Man, what I'm digging is that I think college football now is going to be a lot different than back when I was in school, because now players are getting paid.
Oh yeah, the NIL agreement.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So now you're seeing people are actually able to. These students don't have to struggle to be in school now. They can. They making money, chips while they in school now, so that's a good thing. I was down there in Norman. I noticed the locker room, the cards in the locker room look a little bit different now than what they did back in the day.
Yes, they do. Oh, they put a lot more money into to the programs now.
Yeah.
So, these kids today, they all about how the locker room looks and how many uniforms they get and how many shoes they get while they're at the university.
Well, now they're getting paychecks. So,
they're getting those.
Now it ain't about shoes no more. They can buy their own shoes.
That's right. Yep, they sure can.
Yeah.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Kind of want to talk to you because you're a businessman. I want to get into about a lot of our athletes right now after sports. A lot of these young athletes got to start thinking about what they're going to do when that ball stops bouncing and the air goes out of that football. What's next? And that's why I'm excited to have you on the show today to talk about business.
Right.
And, maybe you can drop some jewels on some of those young people who are listening to the show today.
Okay, well, believe it or not, I've seen that situation a lot of athletes when they do finish, and the ones that make the money, they don't know what to do with the money when they make it.
Yeah.
And I know how it is when you, I had a roommate back in the day that wrote a song that was very popular, record by the name of Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember Ice Ice Baby, yeah.
Yeah, so my roommate, a brother by the name of Mario Johnson, wrote that record. And I've seen Mario go from sleeping on the couch to sleeping in mansions.
Wow.
And it's amazing how when you get that kind of money overnight, if you're not used to handling money, that could be a blessing and a curse at the same time.
No doubt.
Because, your mindset doesn't change with the money.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if you're smart, you can get money and you can hold on to it, but most people, when we got our money at a young age, man, we ran through it because we didn't know what it was like to have money.
Yep.
So
I agree with that.
To get it at a young age is hard to maintain when you ain't got nobody telling you, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. You're going to go buy the nice car, you're going to buy your mama a house, you're going to do all the things you always wanted to do before you got the money, not realizing that by me spending that money, it's not making me no money.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, I think, from watching social media and videos, you see a lot of the glitz and glamour.
Right,
So I think that's why young kids see that, and that's why they want those things as well. And that's probably a big reason why they go through money like they do.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, when you hot, you always think you're gonna be hot.
Yep.
But nobody expects I've seen from back when some of you use Vanilla Ice for an example. I remember when Ice was very hot back in the day. Back when when he first came out with the record, he was the hottest thing on the block. He went from being red hot to ice cold.
Yeah.
In a matter of a blink.
Yeah, it wasn't too long. You're right.
Think about it. That's the only case. I can give you a good case. He's a good case scenario of how 1 minute you can be on top of the world.
Yep.
And the next minute, things are totally different. And most artists, they don't realize that, you only as good as your last record.
Man, that's correct.
So if you don't stay relevant like a Drake or a Lil Wayne, you can't get forgot about. People don't realize back in the day, Kool Moe Dee, LL Cool J, them was the cats.
Yes, it was.
You ain't heard nobody. When the last time you heard somebody talk about Kool Moe Dee and LL Cool J?
I mean, if it's about rap songs, it's been a while.
Yeah. But back in the day, those were the cats. So if Kool Moe Dee and LL came to concert today, how many people do you think would support? And these are icons. These are legends. We don't support our legends.
Yeah. Yep.
So so we're the only people that, when you get cold, you get cold. So you better have your chips right. And have your money. I'll be invested in something different. And the reason why I'm saying that, believe it or not, I've been in the entertainment business for the last 30-something years, and I never expected for the industry to shut down.
Wow. Yes.
COVID came in and rocked everybody's world.
It really did that, sure did.
Yeah.
So, that COVID situation.
So think about, if you're an entertainer and the only way you made your money is by performing, and now you got a whole economy that's shut down.
Can't go to rings no more.
How do you eat? How do you eat? So if you didn't have, as an entertainer, if they didn't have other investments and other things going on, they were stuck. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people have realized now, you can't just rely on one thing. You got to have businesses. You got to have your money working for you instead of you constantly working for the money.
You got about 3 or 4 different hustles, right?
Yeah, well, I would say why not 10? You got 10 fingers and toes.
Yep.
God blessed us with, with multiple, but we only use, the few, So, but I feel as though I've always had the mindset that if it's legal and I can make $1 and I can monetize my money to work for me, I ain't scared to jump, Somebody bring me an idea and it makes sense and it make dollars and it ain't hurt nobody and it's helping somebody, I'm somebody that would probably jump.
Man, that sounds great. That's good stuff. It's good stuff. Well, jumping to another subject, you got something big coming up, man. October 22nd to the 24th, you got the Black WallStreet Expo coming up.
Right.
Now tell us what is that going to be about?
Well, actually, let me tell you first of all what made me come up with the expo, and then I'm gonna tell you what it's about.
Okay.
Coming back home, I've been gone from Oklahoma for the last 30 years, right?
Yeah.
I left, straight out of school, and coming back, to the neighborhood. I grew up on the east side. And just riding up 23rd back in the day used to be a very vibrant city, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
A lot of black businesses up and down the block, and now coming back home, you don't see any of those businesses anymore. It's like
sure don't.
The whole neighborhood is like dried up, like, somebody came in there and sucked the vacuum through and just took the life out of it, And I'm like, it hurts to come back to come back home after all these years, and you see other cities thriving, but you see your city depleting. It's like we're doing worse now than what we were doing back then.
Yep.
So how can we regress after all these years? I've been gone 30 years, and it still looked the same way it did then now. So that's kind of what motivated me is that, I've been home for about a year now, and since I've been home, I've already started 4 businesses.
Yep.
And I realized that, I'm not trying to say everybody need to do what I do, but I feel as though I didn't come home looking for a job. I came home creating a job.
Yes.
And I'm trying to get everybody else to understand that they don't have to go out and get a job. They can create jobs. And we got a lot of smart people out here, a lot of sharp brothers out here that have skills, but we just scared to take that leap of faith to go out and start our own, because we got used to waiting on these paychecks and stimulus checks and
Yep.
PPP checks and whatever else. But, what's amazing is that going back to what I was saying, the stimulus check, it's the difference between the stimulus check and the PPP check.
Yeah.
A lot of brothers were sitting back waiting on stimulus checks. I didn't see too many brothers getting PPP checks.
I understand.
And the only way you can get a PPP is you got to have a business.
Okay.
So we need more brothers, in the city starting their own businesses, so that way we can get in the PPP line if we're gonna stand in the line.
So you telling me if you didn't have your own business, you couldn't receive PPP?
No. So what I'm saying, that's what separated the stimulus checks from the PPP check was an EIN number and a tax ID number.
I understand. Okay.
Imagine that.
Man, that's good to know.
$200 for a LLC and a tax ID number put you in a whole different line when they come to asking for money.
Wow.
So imagine that.
Well, man, it sounds like this Black Wall Street Expo needs to happen. And I know it's going to happen because we already got the dates.
Oh yeah, well, not only is it going to happen, it's going to change the mindset of a lot of people out here to realize that they can have that. They don't have to sit back and wait to get $100,000 in the bank to start a business. If you got decent credit, and you got a LLC and the right infrastructure with your company, you can go. That's a lot of money out here for businesses that we can get. You just got to know how to go about applying and where to get the money.
Understand.
But the money's out here, man, and I want to be able to share the information with the people to realize that, man, we gotta do better for Oklahoma than what we're doing, man. We got too many sharp people here, and not enough businesses. So I want to. My goal is to incorporate 1,000 businesses in Oklahoma.
Yep.
And I feel like 1,000. It might sound like a big number.
Yep.
When you think about Black Wall Street, they had 600 businesses in a very small area back in Tulsa back in those days.
Okay.
So 600 was a doable number. Imagine now, 1,000 is not that big when you're talking about creating 1,000 businesses for the state of Oklahoma.
Okay.
So I feel like that's what we want to do with this expo is to create 1,000 new entrepreneurs.
Okay. So Tony, you're gonna have some guest speakers here to kind of talk to people who attend the expo,
right?
Talking about how they can start their own business and things of that nature as well, right?
Yeah. What I've done is throughout my years of leaving Oklahoma, man, I've lived in several major cities. I lived in Dallas, I lived in Houston, LA, Detroit. Where else? Those are mainly the main cities that I lived in. And each one of those cities that I've lived in, I've made some great contacts in each one of those cities. And what I've done over the years is I've always, being that I grew up without a father, I always would meet a lot of older cats that would mentor me. And a lot of those cats were some very sharp brothers, and some of them were very well-respected brothers, A lot of folks don't know Shelly Garrett mentored me at one point in time in my life. That's how I got into the play business. Okay. And Shelly taught me how to do stage plays, and I've been doing that for the last 30 years. So that's kind of what I want to do is I want to find some young brothers that I can mentor. I think, just like I was given a lot of opportunities, I want to give those opportunities back to a lot of young brothers as well.
Wow. Good stuff. So at the expo, what's going in detail, like what is it going to be about? Who's going to be there, and what are the things?
Well, let's just say this: the way we have this expo set up is that I have a lot of strong contacts in the entertainment industry. Okay. So I'm bringing in a lot of those entertainment contacts that I have from the business, over the years, like from the executive music side as well as the film side. So I have Leon Isaac Kennedy. I don't know if you know who Leon Isaac Kennedy is. He's somebody that was a independent filmmaker, and he was also he starred in his own movies.
Okay.
And what really attracted me to Leon is that I was always in love with his wife, Jane Kennedy.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, so when I had a chance to meet Leon, of course, the first thing I asked him about is where's Jane.
Yeah. Oh man.
And it was funny is that we when we first met, I told him that, hey man, we must have a lot in common because we got the same taste in women.
No doubt.
And he took a liking to me, and I was very impressed with him because anybody that could have a Jane Kennedy had to be a very sharp brother.
Oh, had to be, without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
And what was so unique about the brothers, he said, Tony, not only did was Jane my woman, he said, I made Jane. I created the star of Jane Kennedy. And if you look at what he did with his wife and what he did with himself, from a DJ to being an international film star, that was very impressive for somebody back in the day of doing that where blacks wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
So when I had an opportunity of meeting Leon, I gravitated to the opportunity of picking his brain. I'm like, man, I wanted to know, no question was off limits. So anything I would want to ask, he would, he was gracious enough to share his experiences with me, and it was just an honor to have somebody like that as a good friend and somebody that I could always go to if I wanted to know something about the movie industry. I had good mentorship to learn from.
Gotcha.
So Leon's going to be in town, and he's going to be sharing his experience in the film industry with a lot of other brothers that want to do the same thing. That's one of the people that we're going to be bringing in.
Okay.
I'm also working with a gentleman by the name of George Smith. He's put together a group called the Desire Group. And what George has is a group of serial entrepreneurs, people in the entertainment technology industry that's going to come in and they're going to mentor, let's just say, the people that want to go into banking or finance or whatever. We have people that have owned banks, people that are in the finance industry that you can learn and mentor people that want to go into those industries. So we're going to cover it from everything from sports, entertainment, from sports management, from entertainment management, to music publishing, to book publishing.
Awesome.
All type of intellectual properties. A lot of people have stories that want to get told. So we got publishing companies that's going to be here for self-publishers. We're bringing in an array of international contacts to just help people in Oklahoma become more than just local artists or local musicians or local painters or local authors. Sweet. We're bringing in national people that have international appeal to a market like Oklahoma. So by being able to network and be with people that are very politically connected in those industries, it's very rare that you can meet those type people in the state because there's not a lot of people that you can run across that can give you this type of information that you're going to learn at this type of expo.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds great. I know it's a lot of people that need to know these things.
Yeah. And, and believe it or not, B, when I left Oklahoma, I left back in '88. And one of the reasons why I had to leave is because, I feel like I outgrew Oklahoma.
Yeah. I understand that.
And the opportunity here was only so high that you can go, and and if you somebody that have bigger dreams and wanting to not just be a local star but an international star, sometimes you got to get out the pond and go to get in the ocean.
Get in that ocean, that's right.
Yeah. So I had to go out to see if I could swim in the ocean. And now that I know I can compete in the ocean, I decided I wanted to create a pipeline to where the ocean make it to Oklahoma.
That's a great way to put it.
There you go.
Yes, that's a great analogy.
So that's my goal, is to create that ocean pipeline to Oklahoma to where we can create some bigger fish in Oklahoma instead of people having to swim around Lake Hefner. We can, you can only grow so far at Lake Hefner or either Lake Overholser. You got to get in bigger water to get bigger fish. So Oklahoma is a major market. People are not really taking this market serious, but if they could build a black Wall Street in Oklahoma back in the early 1900s, imagine what we can do now, brother.
No doubt. Now at the expo event, Tony, You're gonna have vendors and food trucks, and what else will be there?
We're gonna have workshops. We're gonna have vendors. We're gonna have food trucks. We're gonna have entertainment. We're gonna have we're gonna have COVID testing.
Okay.
We're gonna have what else, man? There's so much going on there, man. More, just a lot of networking. Just meeting a lot of interesting people, and we're gonna have people coming from all over the country. So it's just gonna be a good place to be.
How many people you anticipating coming for those all 3 days?
You know something? Believe it or not, being that this is a new location we bringing everybody to, I wanted to. My reason for going to the stockyard is because we're getting ready to establish the stockyard as a food truck park.
Okay.
So
It's a good area to do it.
Yeah, I decided that I wanted to bring this event there as a kickoff event, and plus people that from Oklahoma knows that the stockyard has a lot of symbolic meaning to black folks.
Yeah.
And for the black folks from Oklahoma that knows what the stockyard represent, it's a historical place, and it has a lot of historical meaning. So to be able to have a property there that we can actually do this Black Wall Street there, which is going to be an ongoing project. The expo is just the first kickoff of many that we're going to be doing at that location. So our main goal was to establish the presence of the stockyard as a vendor, as a venue that we're going to be doing ongoing events of this nature throughout the year. So it's not just a one-off type deal.
Okay. So you're gonna do numerous expos?
Right. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. We'll be doing stuff with the Latinos, Latin market, the Hispanic market, the urban market. We want this to be an exchange venue to where we can bring in a lot of different minority sectors to really help exchange and people to learn about their culture and the value of in exchange the dollars in their neighborhood. So we want to make this an exchange district for businesses to be able to come in and exchange commerce and just do business.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Real good stuff. Anybody that wanted to find out more information about this, where can they go to?
Well, we have a website. We got a website called the blackwallstreetexpo.org.
Okay.
And another thing I want to let you know that we are a 501c3, so we are a not-for-profit business. So the money that we're making for this, we're going to be putting back into the black community, minority businesses, helping entrepreneurs get funding. So this is just a way that we can keep the money circulating in our neighborhood so the money can bounce around quite a few times before it ever leaves the neighborhood. So we figure if we can spend our money for 3 days with each other, we can do it for 30 days. And if we can do it for 30 days, maybe we can do it for a year. So we feel as though by creating this model, we're doing 10 different cities. So we're going to be traveling around the country with this expo, teaching folks the legacy of Black Wall Street and just showing them how we can do business with one another and just keep the money within our own neighborhoods. So this is just a model to show that if we could spend our money together for 3 days, maybe that 3 can be 30 and on and on. So it's just, you take baby steps.
Those are great steps though to take.
Yeah,
if you can just take a one step, is a big step in the right direction.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the model, and we always figured, the 3-day weekend was something that, is a very doable, relatable goal for us to be able to keep our money exchanged for the first 3 days, and then what we do from there is I figured repetition. After 3 times, you should figure out if we can do it 3, we can do it 4 and 5. So maybe people can realize that it can become a way of life, and they can start becoming more intentional with their spending of helping each other, spending their money among our own. Because the only way we're gonna survive is black businesses and minority businesses, and we got to shop among ourselves.
So let's say if I'm a vendor or I have my own food truck, who do I contact to be able to get my business at this expo?
Well, actually, we have a vendor coordinator by the name of Steve Rim. You can go on the website of blackwallstreet.org and you can register there, and he'll contact you, and he's the guy that sets up everything. So we're excited to have Steve on board. Steve's somebody that actually started the original Black Expo.
Okay.
He worked with the couple of the original guys that started it, and we were excited to have him on board with the Black Wall Street Expo.
Wow.
So we got some very seasoned people working with us to build this expo up. And hopefully, you know, this can be what the Essence Fest is in New Orleans to New Orleans for Oklahoma.
Yeah, we need something like that here in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, period, you know.
You know, this is really the only thing that we have a van that we can really be proud of that belongs to Oklahoma.
Yep.
Is this expo that nobody else can claim.
Yep.
So I feel as though by paying homage, by keeping this, you know, the spirit of Black Wall Street alive in the state, is something that's needed. And I think it's something that we should feel proud of and something that we should embrace. So I feel as though if it started here, why can't it finish here?
Well, man, you got me excited about it, man. I can't wait to it gets here because I'm sure going to be there, checking out all the festivities and learning how to you know, run my own business, 2, 3, or 4, or 5 or more, like you, big dog.
Well, you know, one thing I tell people that V is that it's one thing to get paid, it's another thing to stay paid.
Gotcha.
And a lot of folks, we so focus on how to make the money where we don't focus on how to keep the money. It's easy to make it, but it's hard to keep it.
Yeah.
Because you got so many people pulling at you, so many different things that, you know, that you can do when you get it. So to be disciplined enough to maintain it once you get it, that's when you know you mastered the art of having money, when you can maintain it once you get it.
Wow, yeah.
You know,
and
it's an art to this, man. You know, I realize that a lot of folks, man, I notice when you desperate and you chase money, it never come to you.
Yep.
And it's kind of like when you play basketball, you know, when you let the shot come to you.
Yeah.
You know, sit back and let you wait.
Instead of you chasing the shot,
there you go.
let it come to you.
Let it come to you. You know, and you know, when you sitting in your spot, when you get it, you know that's your shot.
Yep.
So you know, it's kind of like that in business, man. You just got to sit back and wait on the right deal to come along, and you pick your shot.
No, gotta be patient.
Yeah,
gotta be patient.
And I would suggest that to any athlete. I know when they, you know, when you're a target, when people know you signed a 10 or 15, $20 million a year contract, you got an X on your head. So everybody with an idea is approaching you with a you know, with a way of taking your money and making more money.
Yeah.
You know, opposed to, you know, and then, you know, which is nothing wrong with it, but at the same time, you got to be wise in your choosing in terms of how you spend your money, because there's nothing wrong with investing in people's ideas. Because I'm a person where I prefer to invest in a person than an idea, because with that person, the idea might go bad, but if you invest in that person can eventually get the right idea and get it right. You know, so me investing in people is something that I've always believed in. You know, if I see somebody that got to drive and don't know what it's like to quit, that might not have been the right idea. We can pick another idea as long as you got the right person, somebody that you know going to finish it through. That's going to do it with integrity, and I can accept the loss just like I can accept the gain.
Yeah.
As long as we put what we put into it, you know, and that's what business.
Without
you know.
doubt.
I don't want to do business with nobody that never lost no money, because you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
You gotta talk to somebody that's been through the wars.
Yeah.
And,
somebody that
got the prize.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, and that's kind of where I'm at, man. I didn't probably lost more money than the average person ever seen, but at the same time, I didn't, you know, there's more on the upside than on the backside.
Yeah.
So what I've learned from knowledge-wise, man, is priceless, you know. I know what not to do now when I get the money.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No, that's good. That's good stuff, Tony. Man, good stuff.
Yeah.
Once again, tell everybody the website of the Black Wall Street Expo and who to contact to be a vendor, or you know, if they want a food truck there.
Contact Steve Rim at blackwallstreetexpo.org. That's blackwallstreetexpo.org, and it gives you a number, and it pretty much, if you want to go online and register as a vendor, you can register there. If you want to also come on board as a sponsor, it gives you all the information on the website, so that way you can come on as a sponsor, a partner, or as a vendor. But we welcome you to come out, and we want everybody to be a part of it.
Man, Tony, man, I appreciate you being on the show today, man. It's been a pleasure as usual to talk with you about business. You know, you got a lot of knowledge about it, and you know, man, appreciate you.
Well, man, I appreciate you having me, and I'm glad to see you doing what you do, V. And and you inspire me, brother. You say I inspire you in business, but you inspire me as being a great dad. I like the job you're doing with your daughter, brothers. I feel as though I always told you, you the LeVar Ball of female basketball.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and I see that, by doing your podcast, by doing what you're doing, it's all about branding, brother, and anything I can do to be a part of what you're doing, it's always good to be here to support my boys. So
appreciate it, man.
No doubt.
No doubt. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching the show. Once again, Shimmy Move Sports Talk. Thanks, you guys. I'm the host, Coach BV. I want to thank my sponsors, Doggy Style Hot Dogs and Happy Tree Dispensaries.
There you go, in the building.
Bam.